So this was a report that Gen Z don't want to have kids. And I understand why. Let's go ahead and check this out.
Gen Z and millennials don't want kids. So the birth rate, the fertility rate in the U.S. has been going down for years. It's now at a historic low. And what's really interesting when you get into the Pew Research underneath it is the reason people are not having kids has changed. So put up this graphic here, and I'll talk you through it. People over the age of 50 who have not had children, they say, look, it just didn't happen. Basically, I wanted to, but it was bad luck. Young people today say, I'm not even out here trying. I, period, full stop, don't want children. That
is a big shift.
That is a big change. There's a bunch of reasons. A portion of them cite the cost.
The cost of childcare is bananas.
It's bananas.
School is just, it's
crazy.
Unreal.
A portion of them cite worries about the state of the world, climate change. Yeah. And then 20% say, I just don't like kids.
And these are all fair reasons. I don't know about not liking kids.
The state of the world and climate change, meaning they don't want to add to our population because of the pressures.
Or they're just worried that the quality of life is getting worse and worse.
Oh. Well, let's look at Gen Z and what they're going through. And I blame the boomers, because you can't even say my generation, Gen X, because we haven't been in control of the country, right? Because if we was in control, this wouldn't be going on. These boomers ruined America. See, when the boomers was young and even my age, the boomers could have one job and they can provide for their whole family. Look at Gen Z. They can't do that. Matter of fact, home ownership, the way it is now, first of all, you got to be married or if you're not married, have a high-end career till you get a home. Then a lot of Gen Z people are finding out the scam of America. They're saying, wait a minute, hold on. I buy a home. I pay property taxes on a home that's mine. And if I pay off this home, I'm still paying property tax. And if I don't pay it, my home, even though I got the deed to my home, they can take my whole home for property taxes? What's the point of that? You know what I'm saying? People find out stuff like that, right? As the one woman said, child care. Child care is just as much as somebody's mortgage.
Are dinks, dual income, no kids, living the new American dream? For many millennials born between 81 and 96, the ultimate symbol of financial and personal prosperity revolves around being one half of a dink. According to this new research, which identifies that 45% of millennial women aren't getting married, buying a home, or having kids in that order. Instead, 26% of this cohort of women are pushing pause on starting a family so they can focus on their careers and personal finances, with 10% actively prioritizing saving so they can have children in the future. When you look at declining birth rates, U.S. birth rates fell to the lowest since 1979 in 2023. You want to guess one of the main reasons? It's estimated that it costs roughly $300,000 to raise a child born in 2023 due to housing, food, childcare and education, transportation, healthcare, clothing costs during their formative years. How sad that we've let society get to a point, not only about groceries and rent and housing, but the ability to have children. There are so many millennials and Gen Zers that want to have kids but can't because they're unsure of the future of this entire society, or they simply can't afford it. That is how you know the system is broken.
We don't even know if we're going to have a suitable earth to raise our kids in the next 40 years, and you want me to bring a child into this world?
Will we be able to raise kids in the climate crisis?
A lot of people like, yeah, I'm cool. I don't want to have no kids because I don't want to deal with that issue. Okay, you say, well, save money by being a stay-at-home mom. Sometimes dad can't afford for mom to stay home. Now, maybe he could if they would greatly reduce their life to what only he works. But a lot of people don't want to do that, right? So let's say he do make good money, she's a stay-at-home mom. Then sometimes that house encloses on the women too. You know what I'm saying? Because dealing with children all day, not having a break, cleaning up behind them constantly, doing this, doing that, that's a lot. That is a lot. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes women want to work. Sometimes women got their dreams and aspirations. And if they're in the house all day, that can cause an issue too eventually down the line. So what incentive do Gen Z have to have kids? I'm just thinking about it. What incentive? Now, you may say, well, other people throughout the world having children all day. Yeah, but the cost of living is a lot better in other places throughout the world. Food is a lot better. Don't even talk about how the healthcare system is here in America. Now, the reason why the folks are crying and complaining is because they thinking about workers. They're thinking about people that work for these corporations. That's what they're thinking about. That's why they want to flood the country full of illegal immigrants, because they want the workers. And they know the immigrants is going to have kids, they're going to drop them babies. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why they want them here. But Gen Z is right. Like, why should they rush? And a lot of them are single. Why would you want more single mothers out here? I mean, I always tell people, if you're not married, don't have no kids. Just don't do it. Because why? Listen, it takes two to make a child. It takes two to take care of it. Just that simple. And if you're a woman, you got a whole lot more to lose than that man. The worst thing that can happen to that man is they're going to make him pay child support. You going to be dealing with that kid 24/7. You're not going to be able to go nowhere, whatever. He ain't never got to pick up that kid. All you have to do is make sure the child support payments there on time. And the law not going to do him a thing. So I say this. Maybe they should fix everything back to where it was when the baby boomers was the young people age. Then they make it think about having kids. But till now, I understand it. Why put themselves in the financial bind?